evening, everybody. My name's Dan, and welcome to In the Spotlight. That was a nice song, wasn't it? We'll be talking to the person who sung that beautiful song very, very shortly. First, I just want to say hello to a couple of sponsors. One of them is Monster Music, who are creating tomorrow's rock stars today. And then also Liquorland Wigram, who are our friendly local liquor specialist. So thanks to those guys for making In the Spotlight happen. But In the Spotlight doesn't happen without a wonderful guest. We've been listening to her. Can I please have a round of applause for our guest tonight in the Spotlight, Elizabeth Braggins. Woo! Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Have a seat.
Okay,
Welcome.
I shall. Hey, Dan.
So that was you singing just then?
It was.
What's the name of that song?
Oh, that's called Take My Breath Away. Don't ask me who
Took Your Breath Away?
wrote it. I should know, shouldn't I? But I heard it on a Tuck and Paddy album many moons ago and recorded it at St Margaret's in the auditorium there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. On the Steinway there.
Yeah, on the Steinway.
Piano. Wow.
With Clever Ian and Tom and Kerry and all those guys.
So it was about 4 years ago, was it?
It was 4 years ago. Haven't released it yet.
Okay.
Been mucking around, but it's pretty much ready. I think the version I sent to, it doesn't have the cello. There's a cellist who comes in at some point, and I'm sure that it was the second verse. But anyway, clearly there's more than one version on the planet. But yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're about my sixth or seventh guest here in the Spotlight, and my first guest was CJ.
Charlie.
And I think you've got a little connection there.
I do.
What was your connection with Charlie?
Well, I was reading something about him, and he was saying that he was very trusting. He's known as being a very trusting person.
Yes.
And would let people come in and, well, apparently rip him off. But anyway, I wasn't one of them. I went in there when I was about 19, and Simon Gomez, who I was playing with at the time, said, "Lizzie, you need a keyboard." So he went in, and I got my first hire purchase agreement with Charlie, and bought myself a massive big piano, which I still have actually. It is a Kawai electric grand, so it's got strings in it, and but I mean that was when I was 18. That's many moons ago, and I carried on buying stuff from him whenever I needed to for
Awesome.
Forever. Really, he was the go-to. Yeah, Charlie.
Wow. So
Good guy.
So it's your first piano.
Where is he? Why isn't he here?
And I think when we spoke last, you were looking at another piano. Did you? Are you
I
getting it?
have.
Is it the Roland? Is it?
I have.
Oh,
I've done it.
brilliant.
So I bought, replaced my Yamaha something. I don't know, it's black. I'm a girl. And I just bought a Roland something that's at home. It's got
Pretty
81
flash.
keys, I know that much,
Cool.
and it does what it's told. And I learn things about it every day because I'm forever pushing buttons.
Yeah.
I was saying that before. I don't push people's buttons so much as, anyway, the buttons on the piano. And bought myself a Tower Bose 16 thing. So, yeah,
Cool.
I'm set.
And I see we have some keys here behind us, so we might hear something a little bit later on.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's the plan.
Awesome.
Depends if you can shut me up.
All right, I'll do my best.
Okay. Good luck with it.
All right, well, let's go all the way back then. Where are you from? Where were you born?
I was born in Malaysia.
Oh, wow.
Well, it was Malaya then. It was a war zone.
Yeah.
I was
Why
born
were
in-
you there?
Well, my father was an officer in the New Zealand Army, and he was over there on his second or third, might have been his third time over there. The war had finished, but there was still trouble. So, yeah, war zone. Born in Taiping, British Military Hospital, and I went back and took a photo of it when I was about 10, and on the gate it's got this photo of a guy with a rifle. It says, trespassers will be shot. So maybe, I know. Anyway, that was me. And then we came back to New Zealand when I was very young and lived in Burnham, military camp for a wee while, and then moved down to Invercargill and then up to Christchurch. So I came back here I came to Christchurch to live when I was about 4, I think, 3 or 4, probably 3. And I've lived here ever since.
Cool.
Because I'm boring.
That's same as me, nothing wrong with that.
Maybe we're just wise.
Yeah. And was your family from Christchurch originally, or was it?
Pardon?
Was your family from Christchurch originally before the
the thing? Yeah. Well, Dad was born in Oamaru, Mum was born in Wellington, but they're Christchurch. We're Christchurch people.
Yeah.
Very much so.
And were they musical people? Were they?
Yeah,
musical family.
Mum played the piano right up until just before she died. One of her last moments was she looked at me and she went, "Oh, twinkle, twinkle fingers," and she went like that. It was really cute. But yeah, she played to us every night before we went to sleep.
Oh wow!
3 kids, finally got them in the sack. Came up the hall, started having a bit of mum time. So we went to sleep with mostly classical music. And Dad had a really good ear, but I only heard him play the piano once.
Once?
Ever. Yep. And it was amazing. And I didn't even know he played the piano because Mum was so good. I think he just, I don't know. But I saw him play once. He was great. That was weird. Yeah.
And your siblings, were they musical as well too? Or?
Well, we all had piano lessons. Yeah. And my sister was involved she got more into the theatre side of things.
Oh, yeah.
Brother, again, like he was into singing, not so much doing the thing, but piano was like I was born to it, really.
Yeah.
That was my thing.
And you had an early aptitude.
Apparently.
Yeah.
The story goes, Mother was she was a supervisor at a play centre. It wasn't a paid job.
Yeah.
It was in the days when you just did all these things for nothing. And we were at a play centre in Opawa, and at Rising Home. And we'd had some songs and things, and I came back from the play centre at the age of 3. I can't get my head around this. At the age of 3, I came back home and started picking out the tune on the piano correctly.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean... So they looked at me and thought, well, we've got a freak. And then tried to sort of encourage that, and I started learning the piano when I was about 4.
And I think you told me a story about that, about the piano teacher thinking maybe learn something else first, or you come back in a year or so, or was it?
So Lois McDonald was her name. She was actually mainly a violinist, and she sent me back to Mum and Dad after a term and said probably would be a good idea if she knew her ABCs to go any further. So I stopped.
Yeah.
She was a bit scary anyway. Sorry, Lois, but you
probably a good thing.
and then I started with a woman called Maisie Kilkelly when I was 6, and I stayed with her apart from when we went over and lived in. I've just realised we lived in Singapore for 2 years, but anyway, I stayed with her until we left to go to Singapore, and then when I came back, I went back to Maisie and stayed with her until I was 17.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
she was private, was she, rather than through a school or something?
Yeah, Cashel Street, number 33. Oh, wow. Yeah, used to truck there. So Mum would drop us off, and then once I got to into intermediate and then high school, I just walked down. Yeah, high school, walked down.
And was it just piano, or were there other instruments you were sort of interested in? And obviously singing as well too?
Well, the second instrument that I wanted to play was the clarinet. I heard Akabilk singing Stranger on the Shore, and I was gone.
Yeah.
And Mum and Dad sort of looked at that. That was when we were in Singapore. But the guys said, oh, no, she's too young. So they shelved that. That apparently was not the right information. Anyway, by the time I was 11, I was learning clarinet. And I learned that for years until I left school. But I also learned I'd do anything to get out of school. So they'd say, well, who wants to learn the guitar? Because we had all these itinerant teachers at Girls High. And so I learned classical guitar, and I'm teaching it at the moment actually, which if anybody's seen me play guitar, you'd go, really? But anyway, it's working. It's good. Classical guitar, French horn, clarinet, saxophone, done the French horn. I think that's it. Yeah.
So very little time for maths then.
Yeah, any excuse, my hand would be up. No, you're already learning 3 things, Elizabeth. Next, no, but yeah.
So if you think back then to those school days and the sort of influences that, whether it was through the teachers or what you were listening to on the radio, what were some of your influences back then?
I've just read an article because I'm really struggling with the boomer label.
Oh, yeah.
I really do not think I'm a boomer. and I've always thought I was a generation, the next one, Generation
X.
Yeah.
You're on the cusp.
Yeah, well, I sort of am. But the problem is I've always struggled with this, and I just read an article today, and it really rang true. And apparently I'm not, I am boomer. There's boomer 1 and boomer 2, and I'm boomer 2, 1961. So, but again, it's right at the end of it. But then there's this thing called Generation Jones. And I know, and apparently Obama was really identifying with this. It's basically Boomer 2.
Yeah.
So Generation Jones. So I went into this, I said, they had these trick questions, like this big long list of songs. If you can carry on and sing 15 out of these 23 songs, you're a Generation Jones. And I'm like, hey there, what you doing tonight? I sing around and on it went. And I was like, woo! So that was me. So yeah, Generation Jones. But influences for me musically, first and foremost, Mum, I guess. Mum, because she played a lot of 50s sheet music. She had a lot of 50s.
Classical or
no, actually
like pop music?
Pop tunes as well. She played heaps of classical, but she also played a lot of the sheet music stuff. So when she was in the Navy, she was the go-to on a Friday night. It'd be singing around the piano and come on, Janet, and they'd get all the sheet music out and they'd have the latest hits from, that somebody had bought or whatever. And she was an amazing sight reader. So she kept all this music. So she had that. That was a big influence. Obviously the radio, but by the time I got into Singapore was a big one because we used to go and choose 45 records. So I just choose them because they were pretty because I was 8. So that became me learning Deep Purple, Mungo Jerry, Mary Hopkins, trying to think of more. In the summertime when the weather is high, blah-de-blah. And so there was a bit of that stuff, but we didn't listen to the radio per se. Once I got back, it was the Casey Kasem in the American Top 40, and we'd listen to that. And that was, I loved David Cassidy. I was totally in love with him. That was another question that I saw today, the do you love Donny Osmond or David Cassidy debate. It's like, that was so me. And on it went. So, but then during my mid-teens, I guess, it was James Taylor, Carly Simon. I was utterly in love with her. Carole King, all the singer-songwriters,
And
Susie
closer to
Lynch.
home, Susie Lynch, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
that's
just
pretty
thought-
cool.
I
So
loved her.
you were watching her on the TV or listening to her on the...
Well, yeah. I mean, before we went away, it was Come On 69. So my sister and I used to stand by the TV and ape all her
moves.
with all the Go-Go Girls and
Yeah.
stuff that used to do all their stuff. And then by the time I got back, they were starting to really recognise the singer-songwriters in New Zealand. So Susie Lynch was singing Sunshine Through a Prism, and we had John Hanlon with Damn the Dam and Beaver, and all these amazing New Zealanders. So, yeah, I started listening to stuff like that. But James Taylor, Kate Bush was a big moment in my life. And then, that was, Linda
And then
Ronstadt.
as well with the, I guess maybe a bit of the choir side of things as well too, like even going back to when you're a kid, sort of when you're at school, bit of choir work as well.
Okay, so I was at St Mark's
Yep.
in Opawa, and we had this wonderful man who came into the school, Mr Willett, and he was very, very good at teaching harmonies. So that's when he taught us a few songs, and then had to leave because we went overseas, but even just that small amount just opened that door up for me. So I just kept singing harmonies forevermore under my breath. But then, started sort of doing... I've sung in a lot of choirs over
cool.
the years. And, I'm in one at the moment.
Oh, what's this choir at the moment?
Well, we've finished our thing, but it's the CSO chorus, I think they're calling us this year. It's the Christchurch Symphony Orchestra, and they do one a year. It's a vocal thing. We've just done the Forays Requiem, and last year we did Orff's Carmina Burana, blah 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 blah. I've done about 5 now.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah. So that's a bit of it's pretty hard work, but it's worth it. It's fun. I do that with my daughter. So we're both altos in the choir. Yeah,
cool.
and the choirs, I think we were up to 140, so it's a big choir.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Come
Okay.
next year, Dan.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of get to the end of school. Was it Girls High? You went to...
Yeah, I went
Girls...
to Girls High for 4 years.
I just remembered. You told me a really good story about how you paid for your music lessons.
Oh, what?
How you paid for your music lessons.
How I paid for them.
Yeah, or how your mother paid for them.
Mum, that's right. Oh no, that was paying for school.
Oh, was it for school? Wasn't even for music lessons?
Because we lived in Locarno Street, and it was right opposite St Mark's. And Mum's of the opinion that you go to the closest school. You walk, and it was great. We walked right across the road, and so we came home for lunch every day and all that. But it was a private school, so it was a wee bit expensive for a typical early 60s family where Mum didn't work. So we had this massive big glass house, and Dad grew tomatoes, and he was really good at growing tomatoes. And we had a surplus of tomatoes. So Mum used to box these things up and go off to the market to sell them at 5 a.m. in the morning. And she said that's what paid for your schooling.
Tomatoes.
I
That's brilliant.
know.
Oh, wow.
I know.
So you got to the end of your schooling, and it was Girls High. You finished up at Girls High.
Well, I went there for 4 years and then ran screaming from it, and then went to Burnside for my 7th form year.
I know a lot of people that did that.
Oh,
I was at Burnside. I met
such
a
a
lot
good
of girls
year.
from Girls High coming through. Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was just so good. And because we had Dorothy Buchanan she was teaching composition, so she'd come in as an itinerant teacher and teach us. But in my class, it was just this... I'd gone from... At Girls High, there was going to be, I think, 3 or 4 of us doing 7th form music, and I thought, well, I can't really bunk that.
Yeah.
Really. So I'm out. So I went to Burnside, and it was just amazing. And and the same thing, I doubt their reasons for moving to Burnside were the same as mine, but I had like Anthony Ritchie, he's the head of music down in Otago now. He moved from St Bede's to our class. There was half of the CSO, probably retired now, but half of them were in this class. It was just amazing. And I think there was 30 in the class. And we had, for the first time really, I just had this major, I was able, competition. So we'd have these oral tests every day and I'd be like, you're quite good. And so it really lifted my game.
Yeah.
And I just really loved it. I don't think I bunked that subject that year.
Yeah.
Ask me about art history.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Anyway, yeah. So that was Burnside. Burnside was amazing. And I was in a band there. So I was doing like 2 subjects, not just bursary music, but also it was just before they got this whole big massive music school thing that they've got going now. So, but I was able to take a 6th form subject in performance music, and I went, well, I don't think I'm really that good enough to do, a violin sonata every month.
Yeah.
Can I do performance in composition? And they went, oh yeah. So that's what I did.
Cool.
I just wrote songs and did that as my thing. But I was also in a band with Graham Ritchie, who cameraman. I don't know if the guys from the school know him. He lives up in Auckland now, but Graham Ritchie was in it. Victor Catamol, I think it's Al's cousin or something, who then turned into a counsellor in Christchurch, and Philip Rowe, who ended up being a music advisor for schools. Anyway, we were in a band. We did all sorts of cool things. And yeah, it's a big year for me. I was also in West Side Story and played the role of Anita there, and because that was their school production. So yeah, it's good.
And then straight into uni?
Straight to uni. Didn't know what to do in my life. I met a guy. I was out. And I met a guy, I think it was Adam Zappel or somewhere horrible. Anyway, and he said he was a captain in the American Navy and that he could get me a job as a dishwasher in Antarctica. And I thought, cool. So I went home and I said, oh, don't worry, Mum and Dad, I've got a job. and Dad went, you're not going to bloody Antarctica. Anyway, I thought, this is not... But he was a captain. So he said, blah, blah, blah. Anyway... I thought, it's just not going to happen. And he said, what am I going to do with you? What do you want? What are you going to do? I said, I suppose I'll go to varsity. And he settled down. He said he'd pay my fees. He said he'd pay me for my books. So I went to university, and the only subject I was really up there with was music. So I took music, and then we had to do one other subject, and I just basically went, and it landed on American Studies. So I did American Studies, which was grand. I had Leonard Wilcox and all the rest of them.
Was he there?
Yeah.
Oh, he taught me too.
Yeah, he took us through. It was I'd love to have gone and done the movies.
Oh, yeah.
They had the movie, but they didn't have it then. It was too early.
Was it more literature when you were there?
Yeah, it was half literature and half history.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I can tell you which American presidents died. Nobody knows that McKinley was assassinated, not that died, that was assassinated, except me. I'm the only person on the planet that knows this because I did American Studies. Yeah.
Oh, we'll put it out there when we upload this onto the internet so more people will know.
Disclaimer.
No, I think you're right. Brilliant. So what did you study at uni? So it was just music and then American Studies and...
Oh, yeah. And then in my first year, I met all these very cool guys, again, from all sorts of places that were doing business administration. And I started talking to them, and I thought, this is actually a really cool subject. And you are really nice people. So I went off and did a BCom, but it lasted for 6 months.
Oh, okay.
It was so boring.
Yeah.
And anyway, it was the history of the theory of business organisation. So yeah, it was all music except for that one 12 points or whatever it was in American Studies.
Oh,
yeah. That was me.
And were you beginning to gig around then, or was that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I started doing serious gigging actually at the end of the 7th form.
Oh yeah.
And got in a band. We were playing at the Hallsville Tavern.
Oh yeah.
Serious gigging. Anyway, and that lasted for a while. And then when I left home, I didn't have a piano in my flat. And then I went to Warner's one day and they had a piano in the middle of the afternoon with my flatmates. And they said, play the piano, Liz. So I started playing the piano and got a gig. So I started working then, and then I was playing there one night and met a guy called Simon Gomez, and he said, if you're ever looking for a gig, ring me up. So I did. I got the set from Warner's. I don't know why, but I did. And then I rang up Simon, and we played together for about 4 years. And he was a good salesman. So we played at Shades and Cobb and Co. and you name it. We were there. Yeah.
So just sort of rotating around different places. No.
Well,
sort of
wasn't really like that then. You'd have a residency.
Okay.
So if you had a gig on a Thursday night, you were there every Thursday. And it's so different now. When I worked at Shades for Marty Fuller, who, yay, Marty, great guy, we were there like 3 nights a week. My piano that I was talking about before, my electric grand, which you can't move, it's huge, sat in Shades Tavern. They had a wee stage and it just sat there because I was there.
Fixture.
Yeah, I was there 3 nights a week. So,
wow.
And I was there for years. And it was the same when I worked at Tuskers. I worked at Tuskers for 20 years, every Sunday. Wow. 20 years. I mean, these days, I think the general gist is that, if you've got like Amy on a Thursday, she's every 6th Thursday, and then I don't know how people do it.
Doing it.
I don't.
You were getting up to like 6 nights a week potentially at some point, were you? Or?
Yeah, it was usually 4 was normal.
Yeah.
5 was good. 6 was a bit nuts.
Yeah.
And there was one time, I remember one week, Janice and I were working, we were walking out of the Ducks and someone said, have you got many gigs on, girls? And I said, yeah, I don't know how we're going to manage it. We've got 13 gigs in the next 14 days. And that was a lot, but quite often I'd have two or three gigs on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Work Christmas days.
So Janice Gray, how did you meet Janice?
The first time I saw her, she was working at the Jazz Cellar down in the Arts Centre downstairs. At Annie Davies was running it. Janice was singing, and I thought, well, she's not a jazz singer, but she's very good. That was that. And then I was working at the Chateau on the Park. Can't remember. Might have been with Simon, might have been solo. And Janice came up and just said this sentence full of, I say swear words. They were polysyllabic, like, what? And someone said, she won't understand you. And I said, yes, I am actually. She was asking me polysyllabically, is that a word?
Yeah.
Whether I was at university, but in Janice's inimitable manner. She rang me up one day. I was flatting in Belfast and the phone rang and Janice said, hi, it's Janice Gray here. I was like, oh. And she said, do you want to play with me? And I went, music? Anyway, and then about 5 minutes later, Annie Davies rang me. So I started working with them in the Sumner, in the middle bar at Sumner, whatever it's called.
Is it the Mariner? No.
The Mariner, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And we were there for quite a while. They used to make me take the hat round because I was young and gorgeous, and I get so much money. And yeah, we worked there for, I don't know, a year or so, I suppose. Yeah, it was good. And then Annie and Janice and I had a trio after that gig dried up, and that lasted for a nanosecond. And then Janice and I ended up working for another long time.
Yeah.
Long time, yeah. Everywhere.
Wow.
Everywhere. And people would say, well, how much do you charge? And she'd say, we're very expensive. And she was so funny that I have literally fallen off my piano stool 3 times during a song, so embarrassing, landed on the floor, laughing, absolutely pissing myself because Janice is so funny. And then I'd say something and only she would hear, and then she'd be in, like, she reckoned we were good cop, bad cop. She'd say that as a routine. She'd say things like, some guy would be standing there going, because I was younger, and she'd say, you got to get the cat to get the kitten. And stuff like that. It was shocking. She was such a shocker. But she was and still is, one of the most amusing people I have ever met. She's so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we laughed our way, and laughed and cried and everything else our way around the traps for forever. Yeah.
Is it a lot harder to perform by yourself than it is, say, with someone else or with a group? Just different?
I think it's just different. I would have answered that as it's a lot harder to do solo if you'd asked me, I don't know, 20 years ago maybe. Yeah. But I think it just depends. Mostly I've been involved in trios lately, sort of over, I don't know. And with trio, that's really hard because with 3-part harmony, I mean, a 2-part harmony, I think is a walk in the park.
Yeah.
But 3-part,
work involved,
it's a lot more work.
Yeah.
So, but it's enjoyable. It's really, so I don't know. If I'm doing a background vocal thing, like the other day I was just playing piano at Otahuna Lodge, and honestly, it was just, I felt sorry, but I almost felt guilty taking money because it was just I just looked out the window and played songs.
You might have been in your front room. It didn't,
yeah. It was just crazy. But then if it's a concert, like I did that concert at the Folk Club a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, that played on my mind a bit, I guess. Yep. But it was fine once I got there. Yeah.
What about Graham? How did you come across Graham? I know you've worked with him a lot over the years.
Well, I was working with Simon Gomez up at Shades, and Simon Harks, he spent a lot of time in Dunedin, and that's where Graham comes from, if you know about Graham's background. That's where he was brought up.
Graham Wardrop, for those that I'm sure everyone knows. But
guitarist, quite good. Anyway, understatement of the century.
Yeah.
So Simon said to me, there's this guy in town, he's playing at Foxy's. And Foxy's. I think it was at the Imperial. It was Foxy's wine bar or something. It was the in time to have wine bars. Yeah. Anyway, he said, there's this guy playing down at Foxy's, and I went, yeah, whatever. He said, he does quite a little bit of James Taylor. So I just thought, yeah, right. I know quite a bit of James Taylor, let's see. And I went there, and his eyes lit up when I said, do you do any great James Taylor? And he's like, yeah, a wee bit. So he did some songs, and I kept saying titles, and he kept playing them, and I just thought he was amazing. And then one night, Janice we were working at in the Ducks, in the restaurant there, and Janice had to take the weekend off. So I thought, well, maybe I could ring up Graham, and he could do one night, and I could do another night with Catherine Watson, who was also a musician in Christchurch. Graham and I played together, and it was like a marriage. It was just, and he says that. And we are a bit like that. We look like he just goes, and I go, oh yeah, we're finishing or something. There's this real thing, especially when we're on stage.
Intuition kind of thing going on. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I mean, I call him a brother from another mother.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if you believe in reincarnation or anything like that, but I really feel that often the people that I've worked with, that there's some kind of connection from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you're just to bring him up again, James Taylor. You had a special James Taylor event recent. Was it earlier on this year?
Yeah, I went to see him. My brother John turned 60 on the 30th of April this year, and I looked at it. And an old friend of mine said, "Oh, James Taylor's playing on, blah, blah, blah. Did you know he's coming to New Zealand?" No. So I looked at it. And he was in Auckland on the 30th of April, same day as my brother's 60th birthday. And I thought, oh, well, you'd have to, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So anyway, we parted out the money. Up we went. It was fantastic. Sound was crap for the first half. Got it right for the second. He was amazing. I had my binoculars. And then, and so my sister turned up as well. And so the three of us and our partners all headed off to James Taylor. It was amazing. And we sat there just singing every single word. And in the intros, I was sitting next to John, brother, and I was going, oh, this is such and such. He'd go, no, it's not such. It is so. And we knew the intros to stuff. It was just wonderful.
So while you were doing all this gigging, what was happening during the day? What was you obviously got through university, and then did you was any other qualifications or start a family straight away or?
Well, I finished my degree in music. It's called a Musby, and then I went to, because I was on a studentship. I'd done this interview because I really wanted to leave home.
Yeah.
And in those days, you got paid quite a lot of money to be a student teacher. So anyway, they paid me money. I was the richest student I knew. And then the degree finished, and I thought, oh, no, now I'm going to have to go to teachers' college. Oh. So I had no other choice, went to teachers' college, met some lovely people there, had some great teachers, and did my what they call Div C, so it was the postgraduate thing that they do there. And then said, well, look, guys, have a really happy nervous breakdown. I'm off to play in the pubs, because I was earning way more money than they ever would have as a first-year teacher. So they all, tipped off to Gisborne High and Hagley High and all the rest of it. And I didn't do it. And then I think I was probably about 22, 23 then. And then I met who I thought was Mr. Right. He wasn't. And got engaged and married and pregnant and had Sophie. So that kind of got me out of the studentship. Drastic way to get out of a studentship, but anyway, we got there. And then it was actually Janice who said to me, not so many years later, Lizzie, I think you should use that teaching degree. So I went and got a couple of part-time jobs at Kingsley. Well, Dad always said, you're going to end up there, girl. And he was right. And I also taught at Linwood, because Tony Ryan, I got a job there. But they were very part-time.
Yeah.
And then I did a few other... I taught in a few other places. I can't remember where. But then one day when I was about just over 30, I thought I'm probably going to have to get a real job, because things were starting to change in the pub industry in Christchurch. And I looked in the paper and there was a part-time job for Rudolf Steiner School. And that mum always called that funny school down the road. And I seriously got to that place via the back door. I knew nothing about. In fact, the kindy teachers came running over to my classroom screaming during interval, going, "Oh, turn it So, but I stayed there for 18 years.
Oh, wow.
I think I learned a lot about anthroposophy and did a lot of work really about their pedagogy and learned a lot of that. And in the meantime, worked at funny other places like Christchurch Women's Prison, Kashmir.
Jazz school.
Jazz school.
Yeah.
Forgot about jazz school.
Yeah.
No doubt they've forgotten about me.
Yeah.
I did. Because I was working in a group called Valare, which was Nikki Reese, my darling Nikki Reese, and Susan de Jong, who's gone off to Australia now. She's Australian. And she said, we've got a position for a vocal tutor if you want it. And I went, yeah, sure. So I did. And I taught vocals and piano on the contemporary course, and also taught a little bit of vocals on the jazz course for some of the students that were surplus to Susan's requirements. And then I ended up being what they call a program leader. And if you look up on the internet, it says I'm a professor. So how exciting. I like that. Professor Braggins. Sounds like something out of a science fiction movie. I can think of one. And taught there. Had a great boss, Neil Anderson. Great guy. Worked far too hard.
Now, my big memory of you as I was growing up was the Summertimes festivals and I want to say Strawberry Fields concerts and things like that.
Yeah.
It must have been, because you had big crowds for that, didn't you?
Yeah,
it was rock star
massive.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
What was
it
that
was.
like?
Well, it was incredible because apparently it was second only to the Classical Sparks.
Yeah.
So it was a sea of people. It was incredible, and they'd start sort of drifting in, and you think, oh yeah, there'll be a couple of thousand, and they keep coming, and it was a really cool experience. It started off as a James Taylor thing in the Daffodil Lawns, and then that morphed into something. I think John Lennon. There was some kind of anniversary of his death. It might have been his 10th anniversary. Graham organised all of it, Graham Wardrop, and we had this seriously amazing band. We had Murray Wood, who died in the Christchurch earthquake. Shocking, horrible moment for mankind, that one. Murray was like the keyboards player at the back, and he'd say, any bits that you don't know, Lizzie, just airplay them. And he'd play them at the back. I'd be up the front looking like a star, and he'd be like... But mostly, actually, really what was happening, I was playing the piano parts for a lot of these things, and Murray would play all the long and winding road, Murray. He'd do all that stuff, all the strings and all the flash stuff at the back. We had, trying to think, who was Wayne Allen on the drums, usually Tom on the bass, Tom Rainey. We had Pat Kearns was there most years. Rosa Shields came over. That's where I met her. So many cool people. John Gadsby came and sang. What would you do if I sang? We had just amazing. It was an amazing band. Leon Kearns. I mean, the whole Kearns family is so cool. And I'm trying to think who else was in it.
Pretty amazing group.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was a 7-piece band most of the time, and we would, our whole January, like people say, how do you look so young? Or because I never saw the sun for about 7 years. Anyway, but yeah, so we would wool shed or whatever they call it, tool shed, something shed, and we'd just work on these tunes all January, and then at the end of January just
put on the big show,
slam it. And
John Gadsby, you did a bit of work with them too, like live wise. Oh, was it for the TV series, McFarlane Gadsby?
Yeah, it was McFarlane Gadsby. So they had me in. It was via Murray Wood.
Ah, okay.
He needed someone that could sing harmonies. Hello, so I ended up there. I think Janice probably got me that gig as well because she was up front with Lynn Waldegrave and that. Anyway, I started doing harmonies with him, and I think the second thing I said to him was, "Oh, I want your job." He's like, huh. Anyway, great job, and I did harmonies, and then every now and then they'd want an extra on the stage. So I'm there. I'm at the cocktail party. There's this great photo on their website of this svelte version of me, looking dapper. And I remember I had to be an MP for. It was really funny, and we'd be out the back waiting to go on, and John would be asking me these random, I don't know if you know, random out there questions like, what are you doing going up with a plumber? You do, and then I'd have to rush on stage and do my thing. Anyway, he was great. David was great to work with. It was just amazing. Yeah. I loved it.
Oh,
loved
brilliant.
it. McFarlane Gadsby.
Yeah. and I guess this is a recording thing as well too. You've done some albums, or you did at least one album, right, of recording? Yeah,
I've done. I did a solo album years ago, which was so fantastic that I've never really bothered to do another one.
Was it the self-titled one?
Yeah. It was just amazing. I mean, I started off having, I can't remember why, but I started having singing lessons with Malcolm McNeil. Don't know how that happened. And then he just basically, I really can't remember how it turned out. I think he wanted a singer and to sing on an album of his. And it was a really hard song. And I went up to Wellington and did this song called Tickle Toe, which is on his album Song Dance, which is a great album. And then I think it was through that he said, well, I'll probably help you with your voice. Yeah. So I started having singing lessons with him. Yeah. And then he said, why don't you do an album? But I did. And he produced it. So he really sorted everything. And so I had this incredible, on the album cover, I look at it, there's Murray Warner, Ian Edwards, Stu Buchanan, you name it, they're on it. And it was a real sort of superstar Christchurch list of a number of musicians. And we just chose, Tom was the musical director, just chose a bunch of songs. Malcolm suggested a few, so I learned them, and on we went. And it was just amazing. And then Barry Corbett put Sugartown, because that was the pop one.
You released it as a single as well?
Yeah, I think it was about the third track on the album.
Yeah.
And he decided that in those days it wasn't very cool to have local anything on anywhere, really. It was sort of, but he got it on the playlist of 3ZB, which was great. And it did generate, just that album itself did generate a lot of work for me. Yeah. So it was pretty good. Cool. It was pretty cool, yeah. So that was that. And then the albums I've done since have all been with other people, like Valare did one. I've done one with Graham, two with Janice. One with Mary Dunn and Graham last year. And then, but I have got my second solo album.
We heard a little bit from it at the beginning, didn't we?
Yeah.
Have you recorded with, and this is, I just love this so much, you're listening to her as a high school girl, and now I know you perform with her, Suzanne Lynch. Yeah. So have you recorded with her at all, or you're doing live concerts with her?
No, I haven't recorded with her. We were talking. So Susie is she's an old friend of Graham's. They've played a lot together over the years, and he said to me, well, what are we going to do now that Mary's gone to Ireland? This was the trio with Braggins and Wardrop and Dunn, and And I said, I don't know. I wouldn't have a clue. And he said, well, do you want to do something with Susie Lynch? And I went, oh, no. So I've got a 45 of Suzanne's, Sunshine Through a Prism, and I can sing the B-side, but you know it off by heart. And we started, and she said, oh yeah, I'll do that. So we organised we did one gig at the folk club, and then because of that we did a little tourette. But the first rehearsal, she came to my house, and I said, look, I have to show you this because it's ridiculous. I should have got her to sign it, but anyway, I said, I've got this from Studio One from 1970 something, 4 or 2 or whatever it was.
Oh, brilliant.
And I said, I know what's on the B-side. Willie and Laura Mae Jones for our neighbours a long time back. And so anyway, we've hit it off. We get on really, really well, even though most of the time when I talk to her, she can't hear me because I'm so much further. She's quite short. Susie, where are you? Anyway, she's lovely. She's got a lovely sense of humour, and we've got on really well. So we're planning on doing some more work together next year. Yeah,
just to round the interview off, you've just shared with me a little bit earlier on tonight about another collaboration, which blew my mind.
Oh, cool.
Please share. Who are you collaborating with now?
Well, clearly Dan is a cricketer, or has an interest in cricket. I remember I started teaching a guy called John Wright, who's a fairly famous...
Pretty famous, yeah.
a New Zealand cricketer. Doesn't mean a lot to me, but anyway, that's okay. And he opened for New Zealand. I mean, he is a cricket god, isn't he? Like most people just go, oh my God, John Wright. So the neighbours are just like, when's he coming round? When's he coming round? So he wanted some pointers for performing. So he started coming round on a fairly regular basis. And then about 8 or 9 lessons in, the real reason that John Wright was coming out to see me became clear. And it was that he said, do you think we should do a little, I think the piano would sound really good, Liz. I think the piano always sounds really good when you start playing. So he said, do you want to do something? So we are.
Cool.
And I said before, he's in India at the moment, so it's a wee bit tricky. But he's coming back just before Christmas, and we've got a gig at the folk club, good old Judy, and we've got a gig somewhere else.
I don't know. I'll be there though.
Balken. Sorry, Balken. Yeah. So the Balken Hall is the other place that we're going to do a thing. And look, it'll be great. He's wonderful.
That's awesome.
He's a lovely person. He's got a number of albums out. If anyone wants to look him up on Spotify, you can hear what he sounds like.
And you're on Spotify as well?
I am. My album's on Spotify, and one track off the Braggins Water Up and Down album.
Cool.
Yeah, so far.
Brilliant. Hey, does anyone else out there have a question, perhaps, for Liz? If there are no questions, perhaps we'll have a little performance.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Brilliant. I'll leave you to it.
Okay.
We clap first.
So we're standing up because the seat was a bit low, so I thought, stand up. I keep feeling like, because I keep talking about James Taylor, so shall I? Well, it starts off with an introduction that I partially learned. It's by a man called Keith Jarrett, and then it goes into our Foreign Rain. 'cause yesterday morning they let me know you were gone. The suicide, the plans they made put an end to you. I walked out this morning and I wrote down the song. I just can't remember who to send it to. 'Cause I've seen fire and I've seen rain, sunny days that I thought would never end, lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Won't you look down upon me, Jesus? You gotta help me make a stand. You just gotta see me through another day. My body is aching and my time is at hand. I won't make it any other way. 'Cause I've seen fire and I've seen rain, the sunny days that I thought would never end, lonely times when I could not find a friend. I always thought that I'd see you again. I've been walking my mind to an easy time, my back turned towards the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. Well, there's always a time on a telephone line, talking about things to come. Sweet dreams and flying machines and pieces on the ground. 'Cause I've seen fives and I've seen tens, sunny days that I thought would never end, lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd always thought that always thought that always thought I'd see you again. I'll see you again. I see you again. I see. can see you again. Thank you. Well, it's never the same. We have, it's just never quite know where that's going to land. But anyway, that has never been heard like that before. So I hope you like that one. Good enough. You do sound like a bunch of nudists sitting on a marble bench. Well, are we doing another one, are we? I've got a cold. What do we know? Well, I could do that song about drugs. Should we do a song about drugs? Okay. It's called Straighten Up and Fly Right. This is my I Need a Drummer song. Buzzer took a monkey for a ride in the air. The monkey thought that everything was on the square. The buzzer tried to throw the monkey off his back, but the monkey grabbed his neck and said, "Now listen, Jack, straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top. Oh, I say use and dive in. Ain't no use in diving. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top. Buzzer told the monkey, you were choking me. Release your hold and I will set you free. Monkey looked the buzzer right dead in the eye. The story's so touching, but it sounds like a lie. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and do right. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top. Buzzer took a monkey for a ride in the air. The monkey thought that everything was on the square. A buzzer tried to throw the monkey off his back. Monkey grabbed his neck and said, now listen, Jack. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and do right. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top. What's the use in diving? Ain't no use in diving. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top. Buzzer told the monkey, you were choking me. Release your hold and I will set you free. Monkey looked the buzzer right dead in the eye. Your story's so touching, oh, but it sounds like a lie. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa. You blow your top. Or something like that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
A pleasure, Dan.
Can I have one last round of applause for Elizabeth Braggins? Thank you very much. Thanks to Monster Music. Thanks to Liquorland Wigram. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for coming out.
Great.